Hello again, my fellow diecaster blasters, and welcome to Peak Speed Lab 164, the place where gravity and mass meet friction and the ramps decide the results. I'm Strick. I'm going to ask you to subscribe, like, the usual. Just takes 2 seconds, doesn't cost you anything. And I'm going to do this anyway. We're here for fun. We're here for some 164 scale diecast happiness. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, and you also like giveaways, I hope you'll join me. If you like new stuff, I hope you'll join me. If you like seeing new brands, maybe some cars or brands or whatever that you didn't know about, but you really like this space, please hit that subscribe and like buttons. So on to the next piece. I finally received the rest of the track sections I've been waiting for that have been back ordered so that I could do the second lane of the 164 scale quarter-mile drag strip. We've been using just the single lane as I had to wait for those to come in, but it finally did. I just finished putting it together. So we're going to do the next batch of cars and future runs with 2 lanes. And I think it'll make it more exciting, even though these cars aren't competing necessarily with each other. I mean, they sort of are, but they're really competing within their cohort of rubber tires versus plastic tires. I've explained that in previous videos as well. We're going to see how they do for the second test track. Now, again, all these cars I've already been through the short form drag strip. That's where the entry point is, and cars have to make it through that before they can get to the 164 scale. Now, on that note, we had 2 cars that had to be disqualified. I'm very disappointed about. The first one is from Kaido House. This is the Datsun 510. Look at this beauty. If you look at the Kaido House video that posted recently, I was super shocked by the level of quality and art on these cars. Unfortunately, this one was too wide. The rear wheel assembly just doesn't fit into the lanes. So it had to be DQ'd because if you can't run on any of these tracks, it can't be really tested. But the other Kaido House car is still in the running, but I'll show you that in a second. The other car that's been DQ'd is from Hobby Japan, or HJ. This is the Toyota Sprinter Trueno. It just could never make it down. Look at this. I'm all in the way. It just couldn't make it down the 164 scale. It never hit the starting gate, the finish gate, never even got close. So these cars will remain on display in my display, which is back that way, which you can't see. And of course, I'll always enjoy seeing them, but they are out of the running for testing. So what's next? We've got 8 cars that we're about to run here. Now, I grouped them in packs of 2 based on sort of like their size and their look. And I think we only have 2 cars here with plastic tires that I ran together. Now, again, plastic and rubber tires have their own category. Rubber tires are going to be a little bit slower because of the friction, but it is what it is. So the first, I want to say the first 3 runs, because again, on the 164 scale quarter-mile drag strip, there's no warm-ups, 3 runs, average of those 3, and I will show you what the average is, and then we'll talk about the scale speed. And then that gets put into the formula for the composite scoring that we have for each of these cars. So the first 2 are going to be the Kaido House that I just talked about, 1994 Nissan Skyline GTR. Look at this, the R33. I mean, you guys need to go see this Kaido House video. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not paid by anybody. I'm doing this for fun. I was truly blown away when I opened the packaging because this brand is like insanely really good. The other one, it's interesting, was one that I was super looking forward to because look at how gorgeous that looks, right? But I had, a couple of pieces fall off. I mentioned that in the related video when we looked at the cars from Germany. So check that video out. And but this is the Porsche. This is from Mini Champs, by the way. It's the Porsche 935-/19. So those 2 are going to run together. Then the next up, both from Tomica, which so those. Actually, interesting enough, the Kaido House is an American brand from Jun MI, who used to be a designer, I guess, at Hot Wheels. I think he still lives in Japan, I think Tokyo area, but the company is based out of the U.S. I think out of LA, if I remember my info correctly. So that's considered a U.S. brand. The Mini Champs is a German brand. So Tomica is from Japan. Now this is the Nissan Fairlady Z. Look at that blue. That just is super gorge, right? And then we have the Lambo or Lamborghini Essenza SCV12. Oops, trying to grab it. Now, this one may be a plastic versus rubber tire one, but that's okay. But that thing looks like it wants to go fast. And then we have that's for the second, I guess, second race, second batch of testing, if you will, for the 3 lanes. I mean, for the 3 laps. Then these try put together because their size match really the closest. So Kyosho, a brand from Japan, is this beautiful Subaru BRZ GT from 2016. Like it really, the color on here, the look, all of this stuff. So again, as you're looking at these cars and these brands, before you spend your money, because these cars that as I'm going through are ranging anywhere from like a couple of dollars to like 50, 60, 80, $100. Really figure out, why are you collecting them? Is it because you love the brand, the make and the model? What are you gonna do with them? Do you want to just leave them on display, or are you going to race them? Are they going to be gifts for somebody that you know? That kind of thing. So, the level of quality in and out of the box and how they run are all varied. So I'm hoping that you'll get some good information as I'm going through, and I'm giving you like my honest opinion of what I have in front of me and how these cars are running. Okay, so the second one in this lap, or in this run, this is going to be lap heat 3. I'm just going to call it heat 3. Will be from Schuco. Now this is a German brand, so this will be going up against the Japanese brand Kyosho. This is a German brand, Schuco BMW 2002, like rally style car. But I look at these front lights. I didn't notice it. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to get that where you can really see it. Sometimes it focuses in, sometimes it doesn't. But when I pulled it out of the package, when it was in the package, I didn't really notice those lights, those rally lights, and I pulled it out. I was like, oh my gosh, those look really cool on the front. Then for the last heat of 3 laps, we've got both from Siku. Now, these cars this is going to be pretty tight. These Aston Martins barely fit in the track. One of them, well, I'll tell you this in a second. So we got the Vantage GT4. Both of these are Aston Martin. Okay, these are from Siku, which is a German brand, right? Yes. Yes, it is right. It took me a minute. I'm trying to go through my mental Rolodex. For those of you old enough, you know what a Rolodex is. I'm going through my mental Rolodex of cars. Anyway, there we go. This kind of metallic blue, sparkle blue color. It barely fits in lanes. This car, though, the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera, it's kind of cool. The doors, I'm going to try to open this. The one side opens more than the other, so that's about how that was made, but it still looks pretty slick. This one, it took a little while. It got, as on the short form drag strip, they get 20 warm-up laps. This car eventually made it to the starting gate. So a lot of friction battling this car. I don't know if its mass and the gravity will be able to overcome this friction in any meaningful way, but we'll find out. The ramp's going to decide. As I always say, the ramp doesn't care where the cars are from, how much the cars cost, who made the cars, what the cars look like. It just cares about how they perform. So again, we're not about punishment here. We're about performance. We're not about aesthetics. We're about performance. We're about this testing. We want to make sure that we're giving you the best sort of like, in the end, I guess, review and information about each of these cars, including all these brands, of which now, as I mentioned before, 30 brands across 9 countries. We are working through them, and I got a lot of a queue to go through. If you've seen previous videos, you know what I'm talking about. So what do you say we get started over there? Now, it's a little bit of a cloudy day, so maybe you want to bring an umbrella. But these cars are going to go on the, but you still have, like, right there, you got like lane side seats, you got front row seats to the 1/64 scale quarter-mile drag strip right over there. I'll be there in a sec. Okay, for the first lap, I always like to show the cars in their lanes. We've got the Kaido House in lane 1, or the right lane, and then the mini champs in lane 2, or the left lane. Now, when I added these track sections, if you'll notice, I made sure that each of these track sections actually were the same length, so everything matches up. There should be no issue with I don't know. I mean, we try to cut as much variance as we can to ensure that it's fair, so that as they're racing in these lanes, it's as equal as possible. Okay, so we're going to start lap 1 with the first round of the dual lane 164 scale quarter-mile drag strip. Let's go. As soon as, there we go. had to get close enough. Okay. We got mini champs at 1.84 miles an hour, but that Kaido House at 5.85 miles an hour. Let's get to lap 2. Okay, there's the end of the track. Same geometry. I've sent out the geometry and the specs on this track a couple of times. So, you know, it's the same. All the cars are racing on the same, on the 164 scale quarter-mile drag strip. Here we go. Lap 2 for Kaido House and mini champs. Okay. Oh, wow. Mini champs brought it a little bit more this time, but only 2.88 miles an hour, whereas Kaido House was 5.13, but they look pretty nice coming down the track. On to lap 3. Okay, cars are ready to roll for lap 3. Again, we've got Kaido House and mini champs. All right, mini champs 1.94 miles an hour. Kaido House 5.23 miles per hour. Let's check out the next 2 cars. All right, next up, the Fairlady Z and the Lambo Ascenso. Want to make sure that they're looking good in their lanes. They're about ready to go. So this is going to be lap 1 of 3. Unless, of course, a car wipes out, then we always do a second, or we'll give them another shot. Because, again, we're about performance, not punishment. Here we go, lap 1. Fairlady Z versus the Ascenso. Woo! Those cars were humming. Do we have anything over 7? Oh, we're getting there. 6.84 from the Lambo. 5.18 for the Fairlady Z. All right, time for lap 2. Again, these are both Tomica, which are from Japan, and got to get close enough. Whoa, there we go. These cars are humming. 6.59 for the Lambo, 5.66 for the Fairlady Z. We'll get it in the computer, and then we'll do the third and final lap for these 2. Okay, took a minute to adjust the sensor up there. That's the box that controls the remote and the release on the starting gate, which is the Play Robotics. I never have any problems with this 2-lane starting gate, thank goodness. And then we use the Cook's projects for the finish gate, the speed trap at the end. All right, lap 3 of the 2 cars from Tomica. We've got Fairlady Z and the Lambo Ascenso coming at you. Okay, so this car, the Fairlady Z, came off its little lane, so we're going to give it one more shot. It's going to run by itself because the Lambo made it through with a time of 6.77 miles per hour, or miles per hour. Okay, so give us a second to reset, and I'm just going to run this Fairlady Z for its lap. All right, sometimes these cars do get a little squirrely. This Tomica Fairlady Z gets another shot to see if she can finish. Oh, that's twice. She's going to get one more shot. All right, this is attempt number 3 for lap 3 for the Fairlady Z. Let's see if she can make it to the starting gate without derailing. I do not know why it's not doing it, but that was 3. I checked the track. There isn't any issue with the track. It's just, I guess, a little squirrely. So we're just going to do a DNF. It had 3 shots. That's plenty. It's going to get a DNF for the last round. And which is fine. It wasn't really breaking any speed records anyway. So I don't think it's really going to matter in the long run. But it got 3 chances. We're on to the next batch. All right, on to the next 2 cars. That's the Kyosho Subaru. And then we've got the Schuco Beamer 2002 rally car. See if I can get that back in focus. Yeah, doesn't, I don't know. Sometimes I can get it in there, sometimes not. But that's okay. What matters more is how they perform, once again. Lap 1. We'll see how they go. These cars do seem a tad smaller. Uh-oh. The BMW did not finish that first lap. So, 2 more laps. Okay, lap 2 for the Kyosho Subaru, which is in the right lane, this side. And then that's from Japan. And then Schuco, which is from Germany, which is the that BMW the Monte Carlo race, rally race or Monte Carlo race car, which didn't finish lap 1. See if it fares better for lap 2. These cars are definitely not breaking any speed records. All right, 2.18 miles an hour for that Subaru. The Beamer here did not finish its lap 2, but we're still going to do lap 3. Lap 3, and I don't want to be unfair, but you would think these cars that cost more would perform better on the track. So they look great, details, color, some of the artwork, but this is some lackluster results here. But that's okay. We're still having a good time, and it's really good to know. So what you're getting when you if you decide to buy any of these products from these particular brands. All right, so 1.74 for the Subaru, did not finish, disqualified. Beamer did not make it. That's a shame. All right, wow. We are at the last roll. These are the Siku from Germany, the 2 Aston Martins. GT4 is in the far lane, and the Leggera is in the closer lane. They barely fit into the starting gate slots, but we'll see how they fare down the track. This is lap 1. It has been a drama-filled, I guess, testing batch today. Wow, barely. And it did not finish for lap 1. This thing, this not going to be able to battle this friction, I doubt. But we're going to give it 2 more runs because, we want to do the full testing. Okay, lap 2 for the 2 cars from Siku that barely fit in the track. That barely made it through, and again, a DNF for the Leggera because it just too much friction for it to overcome. Let's go to lap 3. Lap 3 for Siku. Sometimes those days just happen where things just run amok. Did it finish? Yeah, super slow. I know it jumped the track, but we know it doesn't really fit, so we're not even gonna run it again because it's already DNF'd twice, so it'll be out anyway. So DQ'd. That's a bummer. Welcome back to Peak Speed Lab 164, place where gravity and mass meet friction. The ramps decide the results. We are back desk side. And boy, was there some drama, as you saw if you watched the video. Hopefully you did, because you're at this point. Okay, so here are the averages. We've got the average for the Kaido House 1994 Nissan Skyline, ran 5.40 and then a bunch of 3s miles per hour, which scaled at 345.5 0.8133333 miles per hour. The Mini Champs Porsche 935/19, the average miles per hour was 2.22 with a scale speed of only 142.08. So yeah, no record breaking here. Next up, we have Tamika Nissan Fair Lady Z, average 3.61 with a bunch of threes. Now, keep in mind, it was running roughly 5.4-ish average, it looked like, but it DNF'd on the third, and it got 3 tries. We take the average of 3. If it's a 0, that's what it gets. So, you know, it is what it is. The Lambo Ascenso, the average miles per hour, 6.7 with a bunch of threes. I think they had like 8 threes on that one. And then the scale speed of 430.9333333 miles per hour. We got the Siku Aston Martin Vantage GT4 with an average of only 1.34 miles per hour and a scale speed of 85.76. So going nowhere fast. And then, of course, the Siku Aston Martin, the DBS Superleggera did not finish. So we have two more DQs. And yeah, as I'm looking at this, and then just a bunch of slow ones that did not make it in, I'm sure, into the, I'm sure there's no change to the top 10 in the rubber category, the plastic wheel category. You can take a look in the details. I provide all that information there, including the results of these test runs. And that's it. I'm looking at this queue going, all right, I'm glad we got the second lane on here. That certainly made me able to get through 8 more cars pretty quickly. We've got next up, who knows? Subscribe, find out. We got more giveaways on the way. We got themes on the way. We got more brands on the way and more car styles and models on the way. So, I mean, join us for this wacky craziness, okay? Anyway, this is Drake with Peak Speed Lab 164, the place again where gravity, mass, speed, friction, and the ramps decide the results. And thank you for joining me. Again, please subscribe and like the videos, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, all. Cars that we still have left to run. Well, not left to run. They just recently ran their
Time.